I began my grad school experience back in 2019 on a high plank overlooking the valley, terrified for my life. Yeah, this is a true story. Okay, so first of all, back in 2019, I got into grad school. I was super excited. I didn't think I'd make it because I did terrible on the GRE math section. Didn't get to the level where I needed to be able to get into the program. But I talked to my advisor and she was like, you know what? We don't really need math here. Just apply anyway. She didn't say those words, but it turned out that math was not as important for my field as the GRE made it seem like it was. Is that what it's called? Graduate GMAT? I took a college entrance exam, but we're digressing. The first day, actually before the first day of class, we had like a meet your cohort and get to know each other because you're gonna all be online. So maybe you should have some face-to-face interactions before you do this. So we met together up in the canyon. There's what we call the ropes course. It's like a big jungle gym for adults. That's what it is. Anyway, we do some like kumbaya activities, like different things to build each other's trust, and to work together. Different activities. I won't go into the details. Anyway, at the very end of this afternoon, final activity, I don't know what you call it, the tall pole, that's like maybe 40 foot. I definitely don't remember if they told me. And I have no idea. But let's say it's about 40 feet. Maybe a little bit higher. Could be higher. So they say, hey, you don't have to go up this, but for those of you who are brave enough, is essentially what they said. Those of you who want to, you're going to strap in, you're going to climb up this tall thing onto what is basically thin air. There's like a 2-inch board, a ladder to a 2-inch board. You stand on that. And then what do? You might ask. Why am I climbing up a ladder to a 2-inch board? You're going to jump off it. That was literally the activity. Jump off like a 40-foot thing. Now, I think there might have been a message in here. It was our entire, our cohort. We were working together. A bunch of us would be holding the rope as the person climbed up. So they're in a harness, and we kind of secure them. So what happens is you jump off this thing, and there was this little, like a punching bag. There was this little thing hanging a couple, maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 feet out. I don't know exactly how far. The goal was you climb up and you jump and you try and touch that thing. And then you dangle there in midair as your teammates let you slowly, let you down. So that was the goal. And I was like, okay, I'll stand in line. The line was the people who were helping with the ropes. And as the next person went, the person who was in the front of the rope, then he became the next person in line to go up this thing. And I was like, okay, I'll help with the cord. And person after person, they climb, they jump. Some people are scared out of their life. I'm like, haha, look at you, you're crazy. And then some people were like totally digging it. They're just like, yeah, woohoo, Spider-Man, Superman. Anyway, we're getting near the end, and I happen to be at the front of the line. I'm like, I'm just here to support. I don't know why I got here. I was thinking, I would have the courage to say no in front of all my peers by the time I got there, but the peer pressure got to me. Before I knew it, I'm like stepping forward. My mind's like, what are we doing? We're not going up there, but I'm stepping forward. I'm like all of a sudden getting the harness on. I'm still not mentally prepared to go up this thing, but I have my harness on. I'm like, okay, I have not said no yet, so apparently we're doing this. Yep, I did not choose to do it, and yet I did because I didn't choose not to do it. In case you didn't know the context here, I'm not afraid of a lot of things, you might say. I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty courageous, but I'm afraid of heights. Especially this kind of heights. Remember that 2-inch plank? Okay, maybe it was like a foot. I don't know. It seemed pretty small. So here we go. I'm climbing up this little wooden ladder, up this tiny pole. Meanwhile, the valley is getting smaller below me. Feels like 100 feet in the air. And as I get onto the top, I have to like shimmy as I'm like hugging the pole. Shimmy because the ladders are here and the plank's here. So you have to kind of like go around onto the plank. I'm like, hold on for dear life. And then they're like, okay, the thing was, once you got up there, you had to step to the edge of the plank. They said that there was a reason for that. I think they just wanted to scare us. Apparently, like, they didn't want your vest to get caught on. They didn't. I don't know. You had to be at the edge of the plank. That's what they said. So I'm like shimmering up to the edge of the plank. They're like, Ford, check out the view. It's so cool up there. I'm like, yeah, it's great. Trying to enjoy the view, but also being terrified out of my life. I vaguely recall it being a pretty great view, but that's not what I most recall from this experience. Okay, here I am at the top of this, 40-foot pole. The next thing I'm supposed to do is jump off of it. So, all it takes is 1 second of courage to be falling to your death. Or to, maybe sometimes 1 second of courage to do something grand. In this case, it was the former. So, I did it. I just leapt as good as I could leap. And I indeed reached the little punching bag I was supposed to touch, so that was cool. You touch that, you jump, and then you don't fall. You just kind of hang there in midair, awkwardly. And they're like, yay, good job, you did it. I did the higher pitch so that you would know they were so far away, like, yay, good job, Ford. And they slowly lower me down, and my heart was a-thumping. But you know what? It was kind of thrilling. Terrifying, up until like that last moment where you're like, I can fly. When you touch that punching bag, and for a split second, you think you can fly. So it was pretty fun. All in all, I'm glad I did it, even though I didn't want to do it, and I was terrified the whole way. But sometimes, sometimes kids do the hard thing, or just step out of your comfort zone a little bit, and you'll realize that you're a little bit stronger than you thought you were. I don't know. Maybe that influenced my life in some grand way. Who's to say? That's a story about heights. Oh, I was also going to mention another recommendation. Ziplining. That is kind of cool. You have to go, we did it in Puerto Rico. You had to go up this tall thing. But the cool thing about that is that you're not just going up a tall thing for the sake of it. You then get strapped into the harness and then you fly. And when you're strapped in that harness and you're zooming down these zip lines in the jungle, you don't worry about being high because you just feel like you're flying. It's pretty straight up cool. That one I would definitely recommend. So that's my stories. I don't know if you could relate to that. Maybe you're afraid of heights. Maybe you love heights. Maybe you could take it or leave it. But I don't love heights. All right. Hey, remember to try new things. I hope that you have a good day. And as always, remember to smile. Oh, the good news is I graduated from college and didn't have to go climb the 40-foot pole ever again. Barely had to leave my house for that one, so pretty sure I didn't take a single class in person during grad school. Now I work creating online courses. Why am I still talking? Okay, see you later.